Well, hello everybody. So who do we got so far? We got Emily Schumerman. She's always the first to come in. At least I think that's Schumann. I see Emily S. If it's Schumann, you got to put your full name just to make sure. We got Raven here. He's always in the chats. So we got 6 people so far. I like it. Definitely good. I want to get to the point one day where we have 100 people right at 4:30. That'd be amazing. That's my goal in life, is to have my coaches lineup chats at 100 the second I open it at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we'll get there. We'll work hard, and at one point we'll have that, make it happen. I'm going to do a challenge next week. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a challenge to see if we can get the whole entire team to do 100 on Friday. We'll do something like that. I'll have more information on that later. Okie dokie. So today is what? Who knows what today is? Today's Thursday, but who knows what we do on Thursday? It's the second one. We did our first one last week. Our second Thursday, what do we do? Anybody can put in the chat on what we do on Thursdays now. Does anybody remember? We did it last Thursday, and I've been talking about it all week. We do something on Thursday. Who knows what it is? Haven't seen anything in the chat. Who knows what it is? Someone's saying, tell a story. There you go. AJ for Jackie. She's always good. She's always listening. That's one thing I love about AJ. Actually, I love a lot of things about AJ. But one big thing is that she's always listening. She's a very good listener. And one thing on listening as well, you know me, I'm Coach Zander, I go off on tangents. Listening is not just having words go inside your ear. It's having words go inside your ears and then comprehending them and taking action after. So you might have heard your mom say, clean your room. And you say, and she goes, you don't listen. I told you to clean your room. Like, no, I heard you. No, that's different. You might have heard clean the room, but listening is comprehending, understanding, and actually doing. So I just wanted to say that because AJ is always listening. All right, tell a story Thursday. Now this theme of the week, what is the theme of the week? The theme of the week, who knows the theme of the week? Elodie's in the house and the whole family. Welcome. Anybody know the theme of the week? We've been talking about it all week. Someone had the answer yesterday. It's one word. What's the theme of the week, people? Throw it in the chat. I want to know. The theme of the week is what? What? You have the what? You have the responsibility. That's what it is. You have the responsibility to know what the theme of the week is. Responsibility is the theme. So there you go. We got a lot of responsibilities. Bam, 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 bam. Looking good. Let's tell a story about responsibility. Let's tell a story about responsibility. Okay. I'm not sure if I told this story in person before. I've written about it. I don't think I ever told it in person. I come from a family of gymnastics people. My father was a coach. My father was a gymnast. My father was a coach. My mother was a gymnast. My mother was a coach. My mother and father grew up in the same gym. My mother and father opened a gymnastics center together called Florida Gymnastics Training Center. If you know FGTC, say, I know FGTC. I know a lot of you boys gymnasts know what GTC is. That was actually my parents' gym first, and it was bought out by Norland Perez and another family. And it's a great gym. It's still running. It still has, in many ways, similar to the way my parents ran it, but they're obviously more competitive. But if you know FGTC, put it in the chat. They also have a really good compulsory girls team, but their boys are really, really good with Coach Georgie. Georgie was one of my best friends growing up, coach at FGTC. Anyways, I digress. My family owned a gym, and my family were gymnastic people. So in 1991, when many of you weren't born yet, I was only 3 years old. I was in my parents' gym. They opened up a small gym. It was very small. It was only like the size of maybe the boys' area, just the boys' area over there. That was the size of my parents' gym. In 1980s, they opened. 1988, they opened it, and I was 3 years old, and I loved watching the vaulters. And I remember this. I loved watching the vaulters. The vaulters were so cool. They'd run. They would hit the springboard. Back in those days, it wasn't called the springboard. It's called the beat board. It was called the beat board. You know why? Because there was no springs. It was just a board with another piece of wood in it at an angle to make it kind of go like a no springs. Can you believe that? Vaulting with no springs. So they would run, they'll hit the beat board, and then they would vault over the vault. The vault also was just a pommel horse without the pommels. There was no tongue vault. Okay, that's the tongue vault. There was no tongue vault back then. You know why we call it tongue vault? Because it looks like a tongue. All right, so they had the vault. It was just a pommel horse with no pommels and a little beat board. and they would run and do front handsprings and stuff like that. Crazy people did Yuchenkos back then. It was scary, very scary. The vault was way more dangerous back then, by the way. That's why they changed it. And so I watched them do it. I was 3 years old, and I'm like, man, I want to do that. And then one day, after practice, after team practice, my mom was busy at the front desk doing all the bills and stressed out, trying to get all the work done, trying to catch up with scheduling and rosters and making sure invoices are paid and so on and so forth. And she was just, of course, you know, as a young business owner, very stressful times, hard times, but very fun and exciting times. I was 3 years old. So I was waiting at the vault. At the vault, there was a stool. A stool. You know, a stool is something you sit on like this, a little stool. A stool in front of the vault. So here's the vault. It looks like that. Here was the vault, just like this. Okay, the vault was just like this, and there was like a little stool. I don't have a stool. Actually, we do have a stool around here, but it's gonna take me too long to get it. But I got the stool. The stool is sitting in front of the vault like this. Okay? So you had a stool, and then you had the vault. The stool and the vault. So, let me go back over here. This one's, hey, what's up? Got NASA in the house. Okay, so I had the vault and I had the stool. 3 years old. And I wanted to vault because, well, I actually put the stool there. Okay, I put the stool there because I couldn't bounce off the board into the vault. I was too small. So I put the stool. Okay, I had the stool in front of the vault because I wanted to get on top of the vault. I couldn't get on top of the vault 3 years old without the stool. Okay, so you following me still? You following me? Okay, so now I ran and ran. I tried to make a vault. I jumped on the stool to get into the vault, and then the stool fell over, and I crashed right into the vault. But of course, me being 3 years old, I had my tongue out. So when I crashed into the vault, I bit my tongue really bad. I bit my tongue so bad, there was blood everywhere. Everywhere. It was disgusting. My poor mother went over and she was like, what's wrong? And she cleaned it all up, picked me up, and helped me out. And ever since then, I have a scar on my tongue from that. A scar on my tongue from that vault on falling off the stool and biting my tongue. Look. Right there. You saw it? That was the scar. If you missed it, you're gonna have to rewind. You can't rewind right now, you gotta wait till the video's done. That was the scar. And I had that scar since I was 3 years old in 1991, from the stool in the vault. Okay? So, whoa. We're back. All right, so ever since then, I don't vault with the stool, okay? I never put the stool back in front of the vault, and every time I see a stool in front of the vault, I move it away. I'm traumatized now of the stool and the vault. But don't worry, I still vaulted after that, only with the springboard. All right, so what's the moral of the story? Item number one, when it comes to responsibility, whose fault is it that I cut my tongue? Put in the chat, whose fault is it? I know I was only 3 years old, but whose fault was it? Whose fault was it? Whose fault was it that I ran and I jumped on the stool and bit my tongue? That's correct, AJ Pajaki, it was my fault. I ran with my tongue out of my mouth. You cannot do gymnastics with your tongue out of your mouth. You have to realize that you will bite your tongue one day. Maybe it won't be the way I did it, because I don't think you would jump on a stool and try to default. But you will bite your tongue one day, okay? If you do gymnastics with your tongue out. I see all the time swinging on P-bars like that, especially boys. Boys always swing like that, okay? Don't have your tongue out. Number two, I shouldn't have put a stool in front of the vault, okay? And number three, I shouldn't have done gymnastics without supervision, all right? So those are three really important things that are responsible even at 3 years old. My point of telling you this is some of you are very young, some of you are, in preteens or even teenage years. You have to realize that you are responsible for so many things. You cannot always rely on your parents for everything. You're responsible for working out, you're responsible for training, you're responsible for doing your homework, you're responsible for being safe, you're responsible for being kind and nice to other people. There's so many different things you're responsible for, so you have to take that ownership. But it extends more than that. The story is more than that. The story is more than that. It reminds me of my responsibility. Me being involved in this sport. So I've been coaching gymnastics ever since I was 15 years old. I'm turning 32. And so that was, 17. I've been coaching for 17 years. And everything in my life is circled around gymnastics. The software, my skill chart, the one that you use now to skill track yourself, is circled around gymnastics. It's for gymnastics, mostly. We do curriculum for gymnastics. We sell the curriculum. We do marketing and sales for other gymnastics centers around the country. We do a lot of things for other gyms. Everything I do in my life is for gymnastics. And so sometimes I ask myself and I say, hey, is it all worth it? Is it all worth it? This is so much hard, all these things. This gym, is it all worth it? The stress of keeping it, surviving during this hard time. Sometimes it's hard for me, even as the owner of the business with my brother, and sometimes it's hard. And when I feel like giving up, when I feel like it's too much, I look at myself in the mirror, and I open my tongue, and I see the scar on my tongue. And it reminds me of my responsibility for the sport of gymnastics, my responsibility to be here for you all, my responsibility to thrive during these hard times and to survive. And again, like I mentioned before, I thank you all for being with me, and I thank you all for supporting us during this time. So that is my story. That's the Tell the Story Thursday. That's my responsibility theme. Love you all. Have a good day. Start putting GUSA in the chat. Let's see the G, let's see the U, let's see the S, let's see the A. Nice AJ Brajacki. Love it, she's always first. We got the Nasso in the house. We got the proper with the U. We got the Gabby D. We got the, who's that? We got some people I don't know who they are because the account is their parents. Very nice, GUSA. Okay, team.